Welcome back to Going Beyond. Thank you for staying right here with us. And with me still here in the studio is Richard O'Connor, a man of many parts indeed, but I'm going to let him tell us about what he does. Now, Richard, before we took a break, you were talking about the kind of stuff you're getting involved in your area itself, you know, the kind of things you're doing. Let's get back to that. You were talking about garbage and you were talking about different other social sort of activities you're involved in. Let's hear from you.
There are lots of things that is important in one's civic life.
Yes.
You need to keep the roads clean. The citizens, if I may put it that way, who stay, or the residents who stay in that colony should be proactive in ensuring that the quality of life is better. And one should really set an example to others.
But then we are an indisciplined people, and I hate to say this right here on the air. So how do you, how in the world do we actually get people to begin to be involved in their surroundings and not just their own home and that little area around it?
As Gandhi said, it only takes the power of one.
True. Yes.
So it's important that an example is set. Example is always better than precept. So, people who have had a better life, if one may say so, should come forward and set an example.
You're doing that in your area?
I wouldn't like to make tall claims, but as much as we can, yes, really. Mm-hmm. And we try to, we plant saplings. We try to ensure that the sewage water is treated and reused for gardening. So little things which others people see and say, yeah, this is the way forward, really. And it does have a cascading effect. So people
it's a sort of a civic movement then, in a way, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Informally, you don't need to make processions and grand claims and organize yourself in a very, very, international level. You do it in a quiet way in your neighborhood, and that has a kind of chain effect, really.
Right. Does the fact that you do hold a fairly important position in your workplace also, does that help at all, Richard? Do you find that when you get involved in a little civic movement like you're talking about, surely there is some, something to be paid to that, some attention to be paid to that?
Yes, because see, your workplace tends to help you organize yourself better. You tend to meet different people, and all these helps you connect, really. So one is not working in any isolated atmosphere. So there are always interconnections happening all the time. So definitely it does help.
I'm going to now go back to your script writing, to your documentary production work, to the fact that I have seen you at work. You're an extremely good presenter on the screen as well as in real life. Which of these things, Richard, do you truly like the best? I mean, and I'm not talking about work life, 9-to-5 job. I'm talking about the other activities you're involved in. What is it that you like best? I know what I like best. What do you like best?
Well, that's a very good question, really. Yeah, if left to myself, I would go sit in a quiet corner at a desk and write.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I really love doing. One does come to a stage and speak because you've got the gift and you really feel you've got to contribute. But otherwise, there's a lot that can be done when you sit at a corner, to yourself, when the world is not looking, and you create something.
I can almost not believe what you're saying, because you're very effervescent and you're outgoing and vivacious, and somehow this description that you're giving me of yourself does not seem to match, really. So you like to sit in the corner and write. So will you, Richard O'Connor, write a book one day? Will we be able to read it? What will it be about? Tell me.
To begin with, that's the superfluous part you've seen of me talking on stage,
oh, really?
etc. Yes.
Okay.
The true part is, is what you really feel when you observe events, people, when you read history and culture, and then you feel that you've got to sit and write something. So I've always liked, in books written by people like Coetzee and and Martel, is it the one who wrote Life of Pi?
Jan Martel.
Yes. And you know, things like these really inspire you, and you know that you've got that in you, and you want to, you know, sit down and write books which, you know, people will feel inspired, you know, to bring out the best in themselves.
What's the kind of book then you would think of writing? I mean, I know I'm probably jumping the gun here asking you this, but some idea in your mind you must have. Is it about yourself? Is it about your life? Is it about your history? Is it about your family? Is it about your community? What do you think you'd like to put down on paper?
Well, I've got, you could say, 2 books in me, if I could put it that way, though I haven't started writing it. Not yet,
no,
not
okay.
yet. But,
all right.
But hopefully will, because now I'm busy with the documentary work. So one is, of course, on the community that I'm part of. I feel that story is yet untold.
Right.
And I hope to tell it. And the other one, of course, is for people to enrich their lives, you know, it's a people's story, and where they
inspirational or what?
Inspirational, but not
a pedantic kind
in
of
a very
way.
pedantic way, yes. In story like fashion, and where the goodness of people is brought out. So hopefully we'll touch someone's life, people's lives at some stage.
It always fascinates me that people who really want to write a book need so much self-discipline. I often, I'm foxed really when I think about somebody actually sitting down every single day, and yet people do it. I know people who've written books in very short time. So do you think this is a tremendous challenge really, to sit down and write a book, or would you rather kind of do it, you know, in your own time, of course, but do it over a period of time with, you know, bits and pieces every day or every other day?
A good question really, because I'm the person who's not very good at multitasking. So
okay.
If you tell me, do this bit, you know, do this chapter, so I can sit for a week and finish it. Okay. But then one does not always have that privilege of sitting continuously at something.
Yes,
so,
right. The
so
luxury of time, really.
Exactly. So right now at this point of life, I've got to work. I mean, I'm employed with an employer,
yes.
and I've got to give my time there. So, and I've got other things going as well. So, I've not really started in this line. But I hope that someday these things will fall in place, and that's not too far away, really. You know, and one must really push. If you love something, if there's fire in your belly, you've got to really push the envelope and get things done, and hopefully that will happen.
Right. So do you manage then successfully, obviously, to actually take time off from your day job, if that's the right word, from your day job, and to do all of these things? How do you cope with so many irons in the fire, Richard? How do you manage it? How do you manage your time? Tell me.
Oh, I'm not really an example for managing time, Jenifer. I don't think so. But
no, today is not counted. Okay. Carry on.
Well, I think if you want to do something well, it doesn't take much time. You can, if you focus on something, you can complete that in half an hour or an hour, or you can spend 2 days on an activity and really do nothing at all.
Right, Richard, I'm going to ask you to hold on to that thought, because I'm sure there's something that I can learn as well from what you're saying. It's time for us to go for yet another short break. We'll be right back with you.